Late December 2020, in the heart of the Bitcoin network, one of the largest mining pools, Lubian, fell victim to a brutal compromise. Through a flaw as simple as weak randomness, hackers walked away with more than 127,000 bitcoins, an amount worth $3.5 billion then. But today that haul is worth a jaw-dropping $14.5 billion. And for 5 years, nobody knew. No reports, no alerts, no chaos, just silence. Until this year, 2025, when a blockchain forensics team finally shone a light on the audacious truth. To truly grasp the magnitude of the Lubian theft, you first have to understand what Lubian was at its peak. Back in 2020, Lubian wasn't just another name in the long list of Bitcoin mining pools. It was a dominant force in the global crypto ecosystem. In the sprawling competitive world of Bitcoin mining, where thousands of independent miners contribute their computational power to solve complex mathematical puzzles, mining pools act as cooperative hubs. They combine resources, share rewards, and in doing so make mining more efficient and predictable. Among these hubs, Lubian stood near the very top. At its height, Lubian controlled nearly 6% of Bitcoin network's total hash rate, the combined processing power dedicated to mining and verifying Bitcoin transactions. This wasn't just a bragging right. That level of computational dominance made Lubian a critical player in maintaining the blockchain's security and integrity. Every block mined, every transaction confirmed, and every payout sent was part of a delicate, high-stakes operation that ran for 24 hours without pause. In the fast-moving, trust-dependent world of cryptocurrency, reputation is everything. A mining pool that can't be trusted quickly loses participants. And without miners, it's finished. Lubian understood this and built an image of reliability and strength. It became the destination of choice for miners from all corners of the world, China, North America, Europe, and beyond, each directing their hash power into Lubian's servers in exchange for steady rewards. And those rewards were substantial. With Bitcoin's value climbing through the year, billions of dollars worth of the cryptocurrency passed through Lubian's wallets. Every single day, vast sums were generated, distributed, and reinvested. For the miners, Lubian wasn't just a service. It was the beating heart of their income stream. Then, suddenly, it all changed. Without public warning, without a hint of the chaos lurking beneath the surface, Lubian went dark. The once busy mining pool, flush with Bitcoin and humming with activity, simply vanished from the network. The abrupt silence was puzzling, but not unheard of. Mining pools sometimes shut down due to market shifts, regulatory pressure, or internal disputes. Most assumed that was the case here. But the truth, as the world would only discover years later, was far more sinister. Lubian's disappearance wasn't a business decision. It was the aftermath of the largest Bitcoin theft in history. The quiet shutdown of Lubian in early 2021 raised few alarms at the time. In the volatile world of cryptocurrency, businesses rise and fall in the blink of an eye. Mining pools close down, exchanges disappear, wallet services vanish overnight. It's almost part of the landscape, a reminder that crypto is as unstable as it is lucrative. But this was different. Behind the scenes, the truth was far more unsettling than any miner could have imagined. while Lubien's public-facing operations carried on through late December 2020. Something devastating was unfolding deep in its digital core. A flaw, so basic and preventable it's almost unbelievable, had opened a secret doorway to the entire vault. It wasn't an elite James Bond-level cyber weapon. It wasn't a coordinated government takedown. The vulnerability was shockingly simple. It came as a result of weak randomness in Lubien's private key generation. The keys that guarded its Bitcoin wallets, worth billions, were being created with only 32 bits of entropy. For most people, that's just technical jargon. But in the world of cryptography, it's the equivalent of using a 4-digit PIN to guard Fort Knox. Somewhere, a hacker saw the opportunity. Using nothing more than consumer-grade computing power, they brute-forced the keys, guessing them with ruthless efficiency. Once inside, they didn't smash and grab like amateurs. Instead, they moved with surgical precision, draining Lubien's wallets in a series of carefully orchestrated transactions. In just hours, 127,426 Bitcoin disappeared into the shadows, $3.5 billion at the time. And yet, nothing happened. No public announcement, no alarm bells from regulators, no furious tweets from Lubien. The mining pool's operators stayed silent, and by the time the company vanished a few months later, the crime was buried beneath the noise of the ever-shifting crypto market. For the next 5 years, the stolen Bitcoin sat untouched. Not a single coin was spent. The treasure was frozen in time, hidden in plain sight on the blockchain, visible to anyone who cared to look, yet invisible because no one knew where to look. Until 2025. For nearly half a decade, the Lubien heist existed only as an unspoken ghost in the Bitcoin blockchain. Every Satoshi of those 127,426 stolen coins sat still, untouched, unspent, and unnoticed. Then, in early 2025, the silence broke. At Arkham Intelligence, a blockchain forensics firm known for tracking illicit crypto flows, an analyst stumbled upon a strange pattern. It began with a handful of wallets that hadn't moved a single coin since late 2020. The amounts were enormous, yet perfectly still, like bank vaults sealed and abandoned. In a world where even large institutional wallets occasionally move funds, this inactivity was odd. The deeper they dug, the stranger it became. Every one of these dormant wallets traced back to addresses once controlled by Lubien mining pool. And there was something else. When the researchers examined the original keys used for these wallets, they realized they'd all been generated using the exact same flawed method, 32-bit entropy. It was like finding a trail of identical fingerprints at the scene of a billion-dollar crime. Once Arkham pieced it together, the timeline became clear. In late December 2020, Lubien's wallets compromised. Hours later, 127,426 bitcoins were drained to the attacker-controlled addresses. In 2021, Lubien shuts down quietly. Between 2020 and 2024, the stolen funds remained completely dormant. By mid-2024, a single transaction, consolidating the stolen coins into fewer wallets, was made. In 2025, Arkham cracks the case wide open. When the firm went public, the scale of the theft stunned even the most seasoned crypto veterans. What had been worth $3.5 billion in 2020 had ballooned to around $14.5 billion, a fortune larger than the GDP of some small countries. But there was an even more chilling detail. The thief was still out there and still in control of the coins. And that raises a terrifying question. Why take the biggest crypto prize in history, only to sit on it for years? Was it fear of detection, a long-term plan, or something darker, like holding the stash as leverage for a future event? For now, the answers remain locked away, just like the $14.5 billion worth of Bitcoin that's still frozen in the hacker's grip.
Japanese police have arrested the head of the Mt. Gox Bitcoin exchange, Mark Karpeles. This comes after a series of fraud allegations led to the exchange's spectacular collapse and hammered the digital currency's reputation.
The department has charged Ilya Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan for their alleged roles in a conspiracy to launder stolen cryptocurrency taken during the 2016 hack of a virtual currency exchange.
All right, an exchange in Japan that fell prey to what could be a record heist is now under government scrutiny. CoinCheck says $530 million worth of cryptocurrency, NEM, was stolen by hackers.
News overnight, Sam Bankman-Fried is now in custody in the Bahamas.
His $32 billion cryptocurrency exchange, FTX, goes bankrupt in a matter of days. $8.9 billion in customer funds are missing.
Crypto history is littered with massive thefts. Mt. Gox in 2014, Bitfinex in 2016, CoinCheck in 2018, FTX and Alameda Research in 2022. Each a headline-grabbing scandal. But almost all of them follow the same pattern. The coins vanish. The thief scrambles to launder them through mixers, shady exchanges, or darknet markets, and law enforcement races to catch up. The Lubian theft doesn't fit that mold. Here, the thief took the single largest Bitcoin haul ever recorded, and then did nothing with it. The scale alone makes this theft different. At today's value, that fortune represents roughly 0.6% of all Bitcoin in existence. A single move from those wallets could shake the entire market. Exchanges would freeze, analysts would sound alarms, and Bitcoin's price could nosedive. It's not just the biggest Bitcoin theft in history. It's a loaded gun, sitting quietly on the table, with the whole crypto world wondering when or if it will go off.